Today we're going to be doing a video on how to balance the blades on a KISS wind generator. This would work on other generators too if you could have the adapters and such available to make this work. Start with the balancing mandrel. This is a black plastic mandrel. There are also some white plastic mandrels, and the older KISSes from Trinidad used an aluminum mandrel. It was about 6 inches long, had tapered threads on it. The newer ones don't have the tapered threads. They're just tapered, and I'm going to show you how to install that into the blade hub now. So it goes into the back side, which has the larger sized hole, and all it takes is a small tap, and it's stuck in there now. So after that, we put the blade assembly on two flat horizontal surfaces with the ends of the mandrel down on the surface. Something like this, and then let go, and the heaviest blade is going to fall to the bottom. We have a special tool for doing that, and that's the balancing stand right here. But it works the same way as putting it onto any kind of two flat horizontal surfaces. So we put it on those surfaces and let go of it, and the heaviest part of this blade assembly is going to fall to the bottom. And after it's rotated back and forth a few times, it'll stabilize and end up in one position. So now we know that this blade is the lightest of the three, and this is the heaviest of the three, and this one's a little bit light compared to the other two. So I start off with a piece of lead tape, and in this case I've put some blue masking tape on either end to hold it in place, and I'm going to put it in about the middle of the blade, like so. And after I do so, as you can see, that now becomes heavier. That blade falls, and now our lightest part of the blade assembly is up in this area. Now you notice that this blade isn't sticking straight up. That means that this blade is the lightest, and this one is still a little bit light compared to the other two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this lead tape out. That way it has more effect on the balance of the whole assembly. So if I take it loose from the blade and move it out a little ways, now we'll find that that blade falls further down, and this is almost straight up now. But it's not perfectly straight up, so I'm going to move this out just a little bit more, about an inch out. By the way, 1 inch of this lead tape is 1 gram, so this is very accurate. And we move it out about an inch, and what I'm shooting for is to get this blade, the lightest blade, sticking straight up. And let's see what happens now. And that's pretty darn close. This process can take a little bit longer than what I'm doing right now. So if it doesn't work out this fast for you, don't worry too much about it. But it's well worth doing to get it perfectly balanced. So this one's our lightest blade now. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to take a piece of lead tape, which is falling on the floor, a little bit smaller because I don't think I need quite as much. I'm going to bend it in half. And then with this blade horizontal, I'm going to put it in about the middle. And when I do so, that blade still goes up. That means that this is still the lightest blade. So I'm going to move it out and out. And even with it all the way out, you can see it's just barely rising. So I'm going to get a little bit longer piece of tape. And here's a longer piece that's falling on the floor. Bend it in half. Drape it over our lightest blade in about the middle. And it doesn't move. So I have located the center of balance where I want this tape to be, and now using that center point, I can tape it in place. Let's see what happens now. It's a little bit heavy. Now it doesn't move anymore. So I'm going to check it. And now whenever I move one blade to horizontal, the whole assembly doesn't move or barely moves. I'm going to move this out just a tiny bit, about 1/4 of an inch further out. And so we get no movement when I bring any blade horizontal. So this whole assembly right now is perfectly balanced to within less than 1 gram. Very accurate. Crude, but accurate. So now I can take the tape off, the blue tape off, and what I'm going to do, if you can get a little closer, is I'm going to mark the blade where the edge of the tape is, but I'm going to move it out about 1/4 of an inch, like so, and then I can take the lead tape off and take the backing off, backing off of the adhesive, and apply the tape just behind the helicopter tape. And because I marked it, I know where to put the end of this tape. And I put it about 1/4 of an inch further out because that piece of backing, that paper backing that I just peeled off, actually has enough weight that it changes the balance. That's how accurate this is. So this tape is in the correct position, and I'm going to do the same thing with this other piece of tape. Notice that one blade doesn't have any tape at all on it. That's because that was our heaviest blade to start with. We don't need to put any weight on it. So again, I'm going to move the tape out about 1/4 of an inch from where the lead tape was. I'm going to move the blue tape about 1/4 of an inch out. Peel off the backing. And that's all the weight that we're accounting for by moving this out, but that does make a difference. And then apply the lead tape just behind, just downwind of where the helicopter tape is on the leading edge of the blade. And now I can take my blue tape off completely and retest. Let's make sure that we got it right. Great, okay. No movement. And no movement. So we are balanced. And then the last step is to take some kind of a marking pen or something with a rounded surface and push the lead tape onto the blade. By the way, you should clean the blade off with some kind of solvent so that there's nothing, no wax or grease or dirt or anything underneath the lead tape so it sticks better. And then after we've got it all balanced, rub the tape. And if you could get a close-up of this, I'm going to use the pen and push this and rub it, and that gets it adhered well to the surface. And we've got a nice smooth surface now for the air to flow across. And we're done. Now, after you've done this, you might want to mark the blades with a marking pen 1, 2, and 3. The way I do it is 1, 2, and 3 are assembled onto the hub clockwise, 1, 2, 3. And if you have any questions or comments, give me a call, 727-943-0424. Thanks.
And why does it matter?
What?
That you clock them clockwise, 1, 2, 3.
Because that way they're located on the hub in the correct position relative to each other. Okay, thanks.